and welcome to Weekends with Whitney. Coming up on this morning's show, meet 4 LSU graduates who had a vision to revolutionize the fishing world, started their own company in Baton Rouge, and launched their dreams in the process. They are daring, inspiring, and unsinkable. How they're navigating a new pathway along our waterways and in the business world. And on this first Sunday of Lent, Dr. Nick discusses giving up and giving out. How what we sacrifice can really add to a dimension to who we are. And for your Lenten season, a new delicious seafood dish, a taste of Louisiana from La Creole's kitchen. Plus, one lucky viewer is tickled pink. Find out who gets flocked in some Lundi Gras fun. And I'll take you inside one of Baton Rouge's newest places to live. A whole new style of living comes to Red Stick. Then, a final farewell to my 4-legged friend, Pig Floyd. The oldest pot-bellied pig in the world earns his wings. A look back at his charmed life. But first, meet 4 best friends who, by launching their dreams, are setting the fishing world on fire. Saltwater fishing in South Louisiana truly is sportsman's paradise. Cory Coghlan got hooked in college.
Got my first kayak when I was a sophomore at LSU. And I actually took out a student loan and had a little extra cash, and I went to the backpacker and bought one. And so that was kind of when I got started, and just basically drove down to Grand Isle and started, you know, just putting it on the side of the road and stuff like that and going fishing, and kind of just basically just kind of taught myself from there.
Soon Cory was taking Sigma Chi fraternity brothers Andrew Chidlow and Gaines Garrett along. Kayak fishing was perfect for college kids on a budget.
It's an inexpensive way for people to get out and enjoy what they love doing, get some great exercise, and really add to the experience, because I find that, you know, once you catch a fish in a kayak, that's you don't want to do it any other way.
But the kayaks they were fishing in were limited.
At the time, you could not stand up in a kayak and trust it to stay underneath your feet. There was a very good chance if you attempted to do that that you were going to end up in the water, and so was all of your gear. So we decided that we needed an offering that would allow people to stand up and sight fish.
Since no boats like that were being made, they decided to build it.
We all sat down and we were not happy with what was currently on the market, so we decided, well, let's put our brains in it and a little bit of money to start it up and see what we can do.
They started their own company, Cajun Custom Kayaks. It's one thing to have an idea of a better boat you'd like to build, but these 4 guys were able to execute it.
Well, that's a complicated process. It took us quite a bit of time, but the main thing we were able to do was to put together a team that had the skill sets necessary and kind of the expertise necessary at each level to accomplish it.
They designed, manufactured, and marketed the KC-12 Fishing Kayak. One 12-foot boat soon revolutionized the entire kayak fishing industry.
Because once you paddle a KC, within a few minutes you're standing up, which is, you know, like we were talking about a few years ago, that was unprecedented to stand up on a kayak, to be able to do that. So you can throw a casting net, you can actually see fish, you can hunt them down, you can do that type of things.
And that changed the entire landscape.
Kayak fishing is sort of the next level of the hunt, so to speak. Part of the sport is challenging yourself in new ways. And kayak fishing is very challenging compared to running around with a fish finder on a boat.
The KC-12 gives anglers a whole new experience.
Sight fishing in the shallow marshes of Louisiana is as good as it gets. You know, when you're actually hunting the redfish as opposed to just throwing the cork out there and hoping something bites.
They manufacture their kayaks right here off Airline Highway in Baton Rouge. They design, then carve out the molds. And because KC kayaks are thermoformed ABS, they're lighter, more durable, and longer lasting than their competitors. And theirs can even hold 2 seats.
Well, a lot of people at first didn't really know what to think of it because it's such a different looking design, you know. And you know, once somebody actually gets in it and sits in it and sees how comfortable the seat is and how much room they have and how you can, you know, spin around behind you and grab, you know, throw your fish in the box or grab a drink out of the ice chest, you know, they really like it. It's, you know, just the fishability of the boat is really, you know, the selling point on it.
Andrew's in charge of making those sales.
You have to get butts in boats. You have to get people to try the product.
Because once they do, they're hooked. You can even steer it standing up.
When you're standing on it, if the wind is to your back, or if the current or if everything's going the right way, you can stand up and you can lean left and you can turn right. You can lean right, you can turn left. So if I get parallel to a bank, I can fish it more efficiently than most people because I can control it.
And the KC Kayak is even stackable.
If you have a pickup truck, you can stack these 3 high in them. They nest just like Pringle chips. So you can nest them. So even for the bay boat, the guys with bay boats out there, they can put these on their bay boats. They can go to different areas where you can't get, where you can, you know, park, anchor, and you can get into skinny water where you couldn't have otherwise.
Last year they sold 300 kayaks. This year will be a record breaker.
Essentially, we've doubled in growth since our inception on an annual basis. And, you know, we're looking to hit that 1,000 boat mark real soon.
In the process, they're bringing back Made in America.
We like to see things made in the U.S. and not made overseas, you know, so hopefully we can kind of bring back American manufacturing a little bit.
Their next big thing is a big deal with Boy Scouts of America.
We've partnered with the Boy Scouts of America to create a true tandem expedition kayak. It has 16'6", 31 inches on the beam. It has the most rear and back storage and dry storage on any boat.
Through all the ups and downs of any business, the 4 LSU guys who've been friends since childhood still work together real well.
Any kind of problems you encounter, it's nice to have people you trust and, you know, and that you love to help you get through them. So
it all starts with the basis of our friendship. It always has.
What's the best thing you've learned?
Best thing I've learned is I've got the best friends in the business.
If you'd like to check them out yourself, you can find KC Kayaks at the Backpacker on Jefferson Highway and at Cabela's in Gonzales. And still ahead, some Lundi Gras fun as we flock one lucky viewer. Plus, new luxury living that might be cheaper than you think. I look back at the life of our favorite local 4-legged celebrity, Dr. Nick, on the sanctity of sacrifice this Lenten season, and a new seafood recipe for your table with Le Creole's Chef Chance.
Maggio, the only way to go. Maggio Buick GMC, your satisfaction's our specialty. We really deliver on Falls River, here in New Roads. Small town atmosphere, legendary service for over 60 years. Maggio, the only way to go. The only way to go, that's Maggio.
Okay, so it's time to see who's going to get the pink flamingo. Sharing my flock here. And I was delighted with how many of you wrote in. And I know I gave really bad directions, didn't I? Because there's really no comment section. So for those of you who were able to figure out how to let me know you wanted the bird, I appreciate you. And I'll figure that out better next time. How's that? But anyway, so we had a great assortment. And I also discovered that a lot of you watch it on DVR. Because last night around 8:30, I had all these other entries that started coming in. So that was great. Okay, so the winner is Lynn Cox Graham, who lives on Esplanade. So Kim, you ready?
Ready.
Gonna load this bird up and head out of town, and hopefully we'll beat the rain on this Lundi Gras.
It's making it.
With the pink flamingo strapped in and secured, we headed not out of town, but across town to the old Goodwood neighborhood. There it is. Oh, wow, it's gonna look great there.
Sure.
This pink flamingo has a new place to roost, the home of Lynn Cox Graham. She never thought one like this would fly her way.
I was so excited because I DVR you every week and I entered your contest yesterday, not dreaming that I would win the giant pink flamingo. This is awesome.
Lynn has a lot of souvenirs from Mardi Gras parades, but nothing quite this big.
Love it. I absolutely love it. This is awesome. All my neighbors are going to be so jealous. They're going to be so jealous. They're going to be pink with envy, I guess.
Thanks again to all of you who entered, and I loved your comments, and thanks again so much for watching the show. But if you didn't win this year, don't worry. I'm going to give another lucky viewer a chance to win next year. And now to a new style of living. Every week for the last 18 months, I've driven by 5500 Perkins Road, and I saw this big construction project unfold. Well, first I wondered what it was, and then I wanted to go inside and see it. I just love all things that are new in construction, design, architecture. So recently I decided just to pull on in and check it out. And I discovered that apartment living has gone to a whole new level from what I remember. From the first step through the front door, the district feels more like a lavish hotel lobby than an apartment building. Property manager Terry Paxton says it's a new style of living.
This is our social area. They have docking stations, which are here, where they can bring their laptops. We have our coffee station. They can come in the mornings, make coffee. And then we'll also have like our resident socials in here.
There's a huge media room, a large fitness center with state-of-the-art equipment open 24/7. Interior corridors, so you never have to face the elements fumbling for your keys to open the door. A multi-story parking garage, so you never have to get wet on a rainy day or get into a car that's been baking in the hot sun. But if you want to bake in the sun, there's a massive pool and sun deck just waiting for you. Block construction project manager Melissa Schultz says apartment living is more of a lifestyle here.
When I was in college, there wasn't the amenities like this, and the atmosphere and where you know everyone, start to know everyone that lives into your apartment complex.
Take a look at the apartments. There are 312 here. Spacious living areas, big bathrooms, marble and stainless steel in the kitchens.
They like the new look. It's kind of different than what Baton Rouge normally has. Kind of gives you more of that big city, like Houston type feel.
Impressive, right? Well, just in case you're wondering, a one-bedroom starts at $985 a month and a two-bedroom around $1,500. Just ahead, two great things for your first Sunday of Lent. Dr. Nick on the power of giving up and adding to, and a new seafood recipe to wow your taste buds. But first, last year, a pot-bellied pig living right here in Baton Rouge made it into the Guinness Book of World Records as the oldest pot-bellied pig in all the world. Well, earlier this month, his reign ended when he earned his wings. I didn't have a chance to know Pig Floyd for very long. He died 1 month from the day I met him. But we will always have breakfast. A little snapshot for you of his charmed life.
Anything and everything you can grab? Just keep the hand kind of open.
Open?
Yeah.
Oh, you bet.
Yeah.
It's going to be open.
Don't curl the fingers.
Move the thumb. I got it.
He quit drinking probably 3 months ago. He just...
It's hard to quit drinking.
Yeah, I know. We've all gone through that.
He has his own Facebook page, birthday parties, and cookie cakes. When everyone else was doing the Ice Bucket Challenge this year, so was Pig. He's a prince of a guy with his own castle and 2 real-life princesses. He even has his own man cave with lights and plush bedding. He'll never sweat like a pig in here either. It's outfitted with an air conditioner. It's no wonder he's the oldest pig in the world, because he lives like a king. Although at 23, they realize his days are numbered.
We're just enjoying him one day at a time, and we know he doesn't have a lot of time left, but while we do, he's a cool little pig.
What do you think is the secret to Pig's longevity?
Pig is well loved. I think that's the secret. Yeah.
Give the gift of fine dining. Wayne Stabler Companies is offering 1 card for 4. Le Creole, The Little Village, Stab's Steak and Seafood. 4 sizzling restaurants, 1 card.
Atlas Foundation Repair, fixing your foundation problems for more than 30 years while preserving and protecting your trees. Welcome back to Weekends with Whitney. We are in the kitchen with Chef Chance Glover of the Creole restaurant, and we are going to make a taste of Louisiana today?
Yes, ma'am.
Great. So what makes this the taste of Louisiana?
Well, it has a lot of different components from Louisiana, including the large fresh Gulf shrimp, the Gulf flounder, and the, of course, signature Louisiana blue crab. Finished with a Creole twist on a traditional beurre blanc sauce. Also has some fresh Louisiana corn, spinach, and Vidalia onions.
Let's get cooking.
All right.
So first, just some regular seasonings?
Yeah, just some Creole seasoning that we make here in-house. Just a mix of cayenne, black pepper, a touch of paprika, and some sassafras.
Now, what are you doing there when you're putting the shrimp like that?
Whenever I put them like that, because the shrimp are so big, if you just cook them on either side, it'll make them a little bit tough on the end.
Oh,
If
okay.
you take them and push it like that, it puts the heat in the middle of it, so it kind of evens out the cooking process. So it's not tough on either end, it's cooked evenly all the way through.
Okay, good tip.
Shrimp should be just about done. Take them, kind of put them to the side of the pan, and move the fish to the middle of the pan. You can finish the cooking process. And it's just a little fillet of fish, you know, it's kind of just like a taste of Louisiana, you know, just like a little sample platter almost, but done in a, you know, a nice little twist. So remove these, kind of keep them under the heat lamp for about 1.5 minutes while we cook our side.
And you're doing something with corn as a side, is that right?
Yes. Once again, just a little bit of oil to season the pan. I'll start off with some onions. With our fresh cut corn.
That's the difference. None of this canned stuff.
No, absolutely not. Not here. A little bit of salt, a little bit of fresh cracked pepper. Another key trick is not using any kind of table ground or coarse ground pepper. It's actually taking whole peppercorns and cracking them yourself and crushing them. Okay. It really releases a lot of flavor. Okay. And a little bit of spinach.
I bet that happens often.
Every once and again. Just knock it down there for now, like it never happened. And finish it with some sliced cherry tomatoes.
Oh, that looks delicious.
That, put it up here too, before we go to plate up.
Okay. Oh, there's more?
Oh, the crab meat.
Oh, yeah. The best part.
You got some hot Chablis white wine, a little bit of butter, salt and pepper. Because, I mean, the crab meat's already fully cooked. You really just want to heat it up. You don't want to use a microwave or a stove or an oven or anything like that. You really just a little bit of wine, a little bit of butter, salt and pepper, and you can't really go wrong.
Terrific.
All right, come over here and put the plate up.
Wow, this really is a taste of Louisiana. As always, delicious.
Glad you enjoyed it.
The white wine with the crab meat does make all the difference.
It really does.
I'm going to do that from now on. Thanks for the tip.
No problem.
Much more Weekends with Whitney right after this. This segment brought to you by our friends at Wayne Stabler Companies. Welcome back to Weekends with Whitney. Well, during this Lenten season, are you sacrificing, are you giving up, or are you adding to? On this first Sunday of the Lenten season, we're joined by Dr. Nick to talk about that and more. Great to see you.
Good to see you too, Whitney.
Thank
and
you.
I think a very appropriate topic for today.
And it doesn't have to be just for those who are Catholic or religious.
No, It's what we call in our religious tradition the season of Lent, a 40-day taken off of the notion of where Jesus goes out into the desert for 40 days. So, you know, a few days we started off with Ash Wednesday, reminding us from where we came and you know, have a conversion. So it's a conversion time. But I'm fascinated by it because it brings to light that whole notion of addictive kind of urges we have. And the Lenten season becomes an opportunity for us to ask ourselves, what might I give up, do without? What might I do without to realize that I can still be at peace without it? Right. Does that make life goes on without it?
Are you giving up anything for Lent?
Whitney, I made a decision that I was going to give up coffee, and I said, no, I just can't do it. And I think that's important. We don't need to go kill ourselves. But I am completely off of Cokes, you know, and completely off of, well, not completely. I'm slowing down on Facebook because I think Facebook is powerful. But I am doing that. But it's not, the point is that we just sometimes don't realize that I'm locked into this. We could give up drama. We could give up chaos. We could give up reacting. We could give up gossip. My mother. How
healthy would that be?
My mother, at 40 years old, decided to quit smoking. She was a pack and a half a day.
Wow.
40 days she went without cigarettes. She never picked up another one.
See, that's how it leads into something really life-changing.
It's exactly. It's not about, oh, I've got to go grovel for 40 days. It's about what can I live without and still be at peace.
And what do we learn from that?
That God's bigger than substance. That God's bigger than behaviors that we got accustomed to. We always say try something for 3 to 4 weeks.
Right.
Now we got 40 days, huh?
True.
But I just want to mention that it's not just giving up, it's also giving out, paying forward. I read yesterday, Whitney, it's 19, almost 20% of Louisiana's population is in the poverty area.
Oh, at least.
How about maybe helping somebody find a car, a job, teaching a life skill? Organizations are great, but how about just one person I'm going to help?
Right. If everyone just
one
like one
family
person.
I'm going to adopt to help pick themselves up.
Right.
It's giving
It's a hand up, not a handout.
It's a hand up. So do you see how it's going back? I'm doing without, but I'm also giving. And when I give up certain things, what am I going to do at that time? What are you giving up, or have you thought about it?
Yes.
I mean, I know it's not. I mean, don't you think it's universal?
Yes, I usually try to add to.
Add to.
But right now with the show and everything, I'm so just busy that I don't know exactly what I can get. But I know on Monday afternoons there's a fabulous food kitchen in downtown Baton Rouge, and so I am at least 3 times during the Lenten season going to make my way down there and serve the hungry.
Perfect. And if I may say that without sounding like I'm enabling, it's realistic. It's realistic. It's almost like setting a goal that's reachable.
Right.
If you tell me you're going to do it every day, I'm going to say, Whitney, I doubt that you do it every day.
I wouldn't.
Right?
And then you set yourself up for
failure.
failure.
And then you set yourself up for failure. And again, part of the problem with the Lenten season is we want to kind of grovel in our guilt. That's not what it's about. It's not. I heard a great line about Lent. Turn on the lights real bright, and you see the dust, and you can clean it.
Oh, that's a beautiful visual.
Just kind of like allow yourself to look internally, but again, think of what I might do without in that season. It's a great season.
It is. It is.
It's a great season.
And coming up, Dr. Nick is going to share something really wonderful and profound with us. So stay tuned for this as Weekends with Whitney continues.
Give the gift of fine dining. Wayne Stabler Companies is offering 1 card for 4. Le Creole, The Little Village, Stab's Steak and Seafood. 4 sizzling restaurants, 1 card.
Thanks so much for spending part of your first Sunday with Lent here with us here on Weekends with Whitney. Remember, you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, or head to my website, weekendswithwhitney.net. We, of course, have that great Lenten recipe there for you as well. But this morning, we leave you with something a little different. Dr. Nick rejoins us with a great reflection.
Thank you, Whitney. This past Wednesday marks the 1-year anniversary of my father's death. It also marks the beginning of a spiritual season for many of us here in Baton Rouge. It's referred to as Ash Wednesday, when many of us, older Catholics, are reminded that from dust we come and to dust we shall return. The season of Lent began on this first anniversary of my father's death, a 40-day season intended to call us into a time of self-denial, moderation, fasting, and the forsaking of unhealthy habits and sin. But it's also a season when we extend ourselves to those who are less fortunate. Think of the nearly 20% of those in Louisiana alone who live in the clutches of poverty, the marginalized, the lonely, the prisoners of despair, those alienated from loved ones. This is a double-edged season. It's a time when we go into the desert and live without what we thought we couldn't live without, while at the same time doing what we can for those who in fact are living their very lives without. While it may appear to be a Christian season, what could be greater than for each of us, whether we profess a belief system or not, to go into the desert for a while? What could be more valuable than while in that desert, offering to those who live in it 24/7 some of the water that we so nonchalantly take for granted? How valuable for each of us is this season that asks us whether we can live without and still be at peace, whether we can take what we've given up and give it forward to someone who may barely exist. What can you and I live without the next 40 days and still be at peace? What can we give forward during the season of self-denial to those who are without any form of peace? What can we do without? And in doing so, what can we do with the extra time, the extra money, the extra energy? We think we can't do without drama, drugs, gossip, deception, or dwelling in past hurts. We think we somehow are wealthier for having so much chaos, when in fact, it shows our spiritual poverty. For indeed, the truth is that the wealthiest are those who need the least, and the poorest are those who have so much yet still want more. As an addictive society always needing the fix, Lent is a perfect time when we live without the fix and trust that there's something greater beyond. It is the time when we extend ourselves, and not by giving a fix, but by bringing forth another's worth into our world. It's a season when we gather together as a people of decency, whether in 12-step groups or small neighborhoods. We help each other to see what eye has not seen and what ear has not heard, that there is a higher power than what we think we possess, and that higher power is love. I know this because a year ago I lost my father, and I thought I could never live without him. But I am living very well, and I do it not because, in my humble opinion, he came from and returned to dust. I do it because I believe he came from and he returned to love. And while I may be without him, nothing can separate me from that love.